and who can outlast each other. I think they are very close in talent level, but at the end of the day, the Cavaliers just don't have the bench. We saw it the first time the Heat came together. There are questions about the roles throughout the whole season, and there will still be that lingering. I personally liked what the Heat had on the bench more that year. I think they didn't have quite like a Tristan Thompson, but I still liked what the Heat had overall. I think they were a little more experienced. Kyrie, you heard it when they mic'd him up during the Bulls-Cavs game. He asked, is this what a playoff game feels like? He has no experience in the playoffs. Love has no experience in the playoffs. They don't understand what it is to be in a Eastern Conference Finals. The Bulls do. They have NBA champions. They've got Pau Gasol now, who has tasted what it's like to win. They've got a guy in Derrick Rose who has been waiting for that opportunity. Joakim Noah is always there. Just so much desire. They've gone through so much. They've suffered so much, and that gives them a boost that the Cavs can't have. They don't have. Like LeBron said, you need animosity. You need to lose in order to win, and the Cavs just don't have that right now. They don't have the experience, and they haven't suffered. So Bulls Spurs in the NBA Finals. CB, it all comes down to, of course, the 7-game series for the best team in basketball. And we are really far away, but it never hurts to pick who is going to win. So, who do you think will be holding the Larry O'Brien Trophy come June?
And it's funny, because we're seeing two teams that are going to be pretty similar in the fact that they're going to come really deep, they're going to move the ball well. The Bulls are probably going to rely a little bit more on one player than the Spurs will, and then they're going to use Derrick Rose a lot. Now, provided Derrick Rose is healthy, the Bulls' defense is a little bit better than the Spurs, and I think the Bulls' bench is the big difference here. The Bulls are going to have a bit of an advantage on the Spurs on the bench. I don't think anyone on the Spurs bench is going to be able to match up with Taj Gibson, and I think that combined with the fact that Derrick Rose has looked pretty good to start this year, and the Bulls' interior play with Gasol and Noah playing together, and then Jimmy Butler is going to have a breakout year, as well as some shooting around the driving of Rose. I think this Bulls team is going to be a little bit better than the Spurs this year. And I think it's just going to come down to the fact that the Bulls have more perimeter defenders.
Mm-hmm. You know, unfortunately, I've gone with a pattern so far. I picked Broncos over Packers. My favorite team against who I think is the best team. And, of course, I have the Broncos winning. I have that again. I have Spurs over Bulls because I'm sticking with my motto, and I really don't want to. But until somebody stops the Spurs, I'm going to pick them. And I think the Bulls, if there's any team to beat the Spurs, to dethrone this ageless fountain of winning, it is the Bulls. They have the depth to do it. They can keep up with this team, and they have the coach to do it as well. It's not like Spoelstra versus Popovich, where even though Spoelstra, I think he may be ridiculed a little bit too much. I think he's better than people think he is, but he can't match up with Popovich. Thibodeau, maybe he's not as good as Pops, and he isn't. Popovich is a much better. He's the best coach for me, but he can certainly match up a lot better than a guy like Spoelstra. He can force Popovich to play his hand a lot earlier, and I think that's going to be a big factor. Now, who I really think, you know what, I would say the Bulls would win the NBA Finals, but I'm going to stick with my motto. I'm going to pick the Spurs over the Bulls in 7 games, going back to back. But I think this season is going to be absolutely terrific. I think we're going to have one of the most memorable and fun seasons we've had in recent times, because I don't think that there is a definitive NBA Finals set. I think you look at last year, and it was Heat versus either Spurs or Thunder. This year, I think you could say that there are a couple teams now that are really shooting for it. There's the Cavs or the Bulls now in the East. In the West, it's always this revolving door. I look at the last 3 years, there's been a different one every single year. I feel like the last 4 actually have been like that. It's just so difficult to pick. I think we're going to have a lot of fun this year. I'm looking forward to it. So, one has Spurs, one has Bulls, both have Bulls Spurs. I really hope that happens as a Bulls fan. Okay, well, we are just about wrapping up. So, time for some final words. Anything you want to add in, CV?
You can also check out my other show, Jersey Boys Sports Talk. I do that with Nick Bogatis and Matt Stovall every Saturday night at 8 p.m. Nick Bogatis makes it a lot more lighthearted than this show, I should say. It doesn't take it quite as seriously, but it's a great show. We have some fun. He brings social media into it, as I'm sure you know you've seen before.
Yeah, I have. When it comes to... Well, first of all, I'd like to say, Larry Sanders, sometimes it's better just to get the rebound and pass. Follow Kobe Bryant's advice. Don't shoot, just pass. Almost scored on his own basket before realizing it was the wrong basket. Passed it off. Luckily he didn't, because otherwise, once again, Larry Sanders would be the GOAT of the media. Besides that, just a shout out to the Chicago Bulls, of course, wishing them luck in the upcoming year. You can check out my shows, Blake and Noah, LA to Chicago, hopefully coming back next week. Very busy schedules, though, trying to get it more frequent. Kicking it with Jake and Noah and Byron, or just kicking it. Great show there as well. Occasionally college football on air with Carl Mogline. And besides that, I think that's it. I think that's it. Oh, follow us, follow Infinity Sports Network, of course, on Facebook. And yeah, I think that brings it up. So that is it. We hope everybody out there enjoyed the show. I know I did. Looking forward to a terrific NBA season. Looking forward to a NBA Finals that is going to be entertaining. Looking forward to matching up with the Cavaliers and seeing what the NBA has in store for us this year. So, for CB Garrett, I'm Noah Taborda. Have a great rest of your Sunday night and a great rest of your week. We'll see you next time on the Infinity Sports Network.